Hi, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Hope all is well. Angus and I have had a bit of a week, kind of an intense
It's been
week.
a very intense week. I feel like I've already been up several hours. We have actually already been up several hours.
Well, because we've been so
Working
busy.
away. My wife is such a slave driver.
Well, you've had to have some early morning meetings,
A
that's
lot of
all.
early morning meetings this week.
Yes, well, that's what happens when you deal with East Coast time zones.
I guess so.
Hey, Toro, great. Thanks for joining us. So, should we talk about it?
Yes. So do you want me to lead
You
off?
can start.
Well, I guess what's come forward for me this week is that I guess I hit a blind spot without even knowing it. hopefully, I'm going to sound somewhat compass mentis this morning.
You've already been working so hard.
These early morning starts have taken their toll. But it's kind of, there's something that's, well, I guess what's on my mind is that on one level, I've had really what I would say was a lot of, my personal clients have been doing really well. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for me to really enjoy that. And I'm now looking back on this week that's now water under the bridge and realizing that I haven't really enjoyed the experience of observing my clients doing really well.
You haven't?
Well, I have in the moment, and we've been having the conversation, and that's a thrill for me. They've been popping left, right, and center, which is fantastic. I guess I've been looking forward to those moments, but my mind is, I can see my mind got got preoccupied with a job that we're taking on together. And without getting into the nuts and bolts of that, I think that there was a problem, or there was an issue, let's say, that needs to be worked on. And so I was putting all my mental energy and horsepower in trying to figure out that problem.
Other people won't know this, but my experience with you is when you start a project, like usually a more practical project, like a house project or something, is that once you get into it, you can't stop. You just got to keep going, and you can't do anything else until it's done. But I've never experienced that with you with something related to work. Like, this is the first time that it's related to work, and I think that's actually really exciting because it feels like you're really into the project in a way that you perhaps haven't been before.
Yeah, and it's a case of, I guess in this situation, let's say this problem for me is kind of an adventure into the unknown. And I guess there's a sort of element of fear around going into the unknown. I guess I've created high stakes for myself. But I'm now aware of the fact that what unfolded over the course of this past week is that through my investment in trying to figure out a solution, I was getting steadily into a worse and worse state of mind, because I was just really spending every moment trying to figure out how to get through this issue. And in that state of mind, I feel like I wasn't really, sadly, allowing myself the luxury of really enjoying how much traction I was getting with my personal clients. And I'm getting more kind of frustrated with the experience of not being able to come up with a satisfactory solution. But what was so interesting, I got to a point where my state of mind became obvious to me. And then I had to ask myself, well, what's going on here? And then I realized, oh my God, look, I'm just spending all my time focusing on how to fix this problem, when really all I have to do is leave it alone. Because, with the understanding, we know that, when we get into a settled state, that's when we get more in tune with our creative juices.
You know what it's reminding me of?
What's that?
It's reminding me of when you were doing the stairs. Remember when you're putting the wood floors on the stairs? And you got to that last step, and you had a certain amount of wood left, and it was like, I don't know, it must have been tricky in how you needed to do it, and you got so in your head about it, and you were like figuring it out, and then you kept cutting the wood wrong. And you'd start off with like a 4-inch piece of wood, or a 4 feet piece of wood, and then you'd end up with this big.
It was like, I whittled it down to the size of a matchstick by the end of it.
But it's like you were just so trying to figure it out in your head that it just kept going downhill, rather than leaving it alone, taking a break, probably getting your head clear.
And well, I think what the glorious reference point in all of this was for me is that when I finally said to myself, you know what, just leave it alone, just be okay with what you already know and show up from that place. and it'll probably take care of itself. It's like that's basically, you know, that's how it's manifested for me in the past. It's like when I leave it alone, stop trying to overthink it. That's usually when I come up with something interesting or something of value. And so I definitely left that thinking alone and got more cognizant of the fact that that's something that will be helpful. And then when I got into that space, it's like, yeah, I've kind of forgotten about it now. Bingo, all these like ideas started coming out of the woodwork, and it was such a good validation of at least having that understanding that it's so much about state of mind,
Yeah.
and so much about me thinking that, yeah, I can figure out this problem and I need to put all my time and energy into it. And really, that's not how it works. That's not how we're designed.
No. And I would say that given how kind of ensconced you've been this week, it's actually been really helpful for us to not take each other personally and be able to kind of just see, oh, we just need to sort of let this go. And it's not about me. It's not about you. Just see how it unfolds.
Yeah.
It's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we hope everybody has a good rest of your Friday and enjoy your weekend.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.